I watched them all the time. I think I watched Indiana State and Iowa, Caitlin Clark play about the same last year. So I watched a lot of basketball.
Like, can we get Caitlin Clark a little protection?
Does something flagrant to this young lady for what she's brought to the game should be suspended and fined.
What Larry Bird said about Alyssa Thomas's actions against Caitlin Clark will shock you. These words have caused a lot of anger in the basketball community. But first, let me ask you a question that you should really think about. When it comes to athletes, have you ever seen someone like Caitlin Clark be picked out? After seeing what he saw in the Phoenix Mercury game, Larry Bird has a very different view of the WNBA. In this way, Alyssa Thomas finds Bird's point of view very disturbing. Caitlin Clark is in a situation that Bird knows all too well. During the 1980s, Bird was the most powerful player in a league full of very athletic players. His opponents tried to scare him physically because they couldn't match his high basketball IQ. But Bird made a clear and important difference, and this is where Alyssa Thomas's reputation really shines. Bird is aware of the big difference between what he is going through with Clark and what he has gone through in situations with a strong mob mentality and when he was playing championship-level basketball. He just said it was the most cowardly thing he had seen on a basketball court in decades. And yes, you did hear that right.
Boom, look at her put her knee into Caitlin Clark's groin. Right there on that play, right? I mean, this is gross, right?
There haven't been many events in recent basketball history that had as big of an effect on Bird as seeing video of Alyssa Thomas pushing Clark from behind while she was still recovering from an eye poke. Because he has played against famous tough guys like Dennis Rodman and Bill Laimbeer, this man knows more than most about what it's like to really be competitive. Despite that, even someone with that much battle-tested experience could see that Alyssa Thomas had broken every rule of fair competition and good manners. Attention please, pay close attention to what Bird said about when that shove happened, because this is exactly when his harsh criticism breaks Alyssa Thomas. Before we go, please like and subscribe to the station if you haven't already. Let's go back to the story. A lot of Bird fans had been thinking about what he was going to say, but no one with his level of authority would have had the guts to say it. There is a big difference between playing tough defense at the championship level and insulting someone who is completely open to it and doesn't know it. Bird said that his time in the NBA was generally thought to have been the hardest on players' bodies. If you don't agree with someone, you talk to them about it in public, like a fighter, instead of waiting for their back to turn and attacking, like a predator. That's exactly what made Bird most angry about Alyssa Thomas's incredibly bad behavior. In the worst way possible, this is where Bird's review completely ruins Alyssa Thomas's reputation. The great Celtics player was especially mad at Alyssa Thomas for how badly she handled the situation. Alyssa Thomas didn't show any regret or admit that she might have gone too far. Instead, she acted like fans and the media were just being mean to her. "Damned if I do, damned if I don't," she said in a low voice. But Bird was clearly even more angry after hearing those things than before. Bird thinks that real winners and legends of the game always take full responsibility for their actions, especially if they put another player's health at risk. He said that seeing Alyssa Thomas play the victim and avoid taking responsibility made him think of players who knew deep down they couldn't play at the highest level, so they quietly came up with other unethical ways to change the results of games. That is, Bird basically said that Alyssa Thomas is a bad basketball player who does bad things because she doesn't have the real skills to play with better players. This is where Bird's sharp analysis really shines, showing Caitlin Clark in a new way. Bird sees in Clark the same special qualities that made him one of the best basketball players of all time, an amazing basketball IQ, clutch shooting skills that defy logic, and, most importantly, the rare ability to inspire everyone around him. But because he puts a lot of value on basketball's competitive ethics, he finds something that really bothers him. This very talented young athlete has to constantly watch out for cheap shots and dirty tricks, so she can't just focus on reaching her full potential. Bird said that Alyssa Thomas's behavior shows everything that was wrong with the players who decided to hit Clark. Some players don't try hard enough to match her amazing skill, so they use cheap shots and dirty tricks instead. Being attacked physically when she is at her weakest is a very upsetting pattern that keeps happening. Bird said that this kind of behavior is the opposite of real basketball battle. Because of his angry words, the whole basketball world is talking about them. Bird compared Clark's situation to times he was physically threatened while playing baseball, but he was quick to point out something that put Clark's situation in the right light and ultimately made her look even better. At just 22 years old, he pointed out, Clark is navigating a level of adversity that most athletes never face across their entire careers. She is accomplishing all of this while bearing the immense responsibility of being the undisputed face of women's basketball. Bird's comments about Alyssa Thomas's future in the league are currently spreading like wildfire across social media. And you truly have to hear it to believe it. Bird argues that if the WNBA continues to permit players like Alyssa Thomas to target superstars without any significant consequences, it conveys a deeply troubling message: mediocre players can resort to unethical tactics to remain relevant instead of putting in the effort to improve their actual basketball skills. In his view, the situation sets a genuinely dangerous precedent that risks discouraging the very players who are pushing the league to exciting new heights. Bird went as far as saying that young players watching from home are being misled by the league's failure to sufficiently punish these kinds of behaviors. He believes that watching the WNBA should teach young people about skill, dedication, and sportsmanship, not about how to target opponents at their most vulnerable moments. But perhaps the single most powerful part of Bird's entire statement was his bold and deeply compelling forecast about Clark's future despite all of these ongoing obstacles. The decision the league makes from here will define its future for years to come. But the question that has absolutely everyone talking right now is the league's future. Will the WNBA heed Larry Bird's serious warnings about protecting Caitlin Clark? Or will they continue to ignore the issue while athletes like Alyssa Thomas employ questionable tactics that subtly undermine while athletes like Alyssa Thomas use questionable tactics that quietly damage the league's hard-earned reputation? Let's keep this important conversation going in the comments section below. What do you personally think about Larry Bird's utterly damning critique of Alyssa Thomas's actions? Do you feel he is being overly harsh, or are his criticisms completely and entirely justified? And perhaps most importantly, do you believe the WNBA will finally take real and meaningful action to protect its biggest and brightest star? Drop your honest thoughts in the comments below because I genuinely read each and every single one of them. And if you want more sharp, no-nonsense analysis like this that cuts straight through the noise and tells you exactly what is really happening in basketball, make sure you hit that subscribe button right now and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a thing. Larry Bird's explosive and inflammatory remarks may lead to a permanent change in the way Caitlin Clark is treated within the WNBA. The entire basketball community is watching this situation closely as this story continues to unfold. One thing is becoming impossible to ignore. This conversation has grown far beyond a single game, a single hard foul, or a single controversial moment. The focus has shifted to the future of women's basketball, the standards the league aims to maintain, and the treatment of its biggest stars when they are in the spotlight. Caitlin Clark stepped into the WNBA carrying expectations that very few athletes. Caitlin Clark entered the WNBA with expectations that few athletes have ever faced. To shoulder every game she plays, millions watch every game she plays. By millions. Every move she makes is analyzed from every angle. Every success is celebrated, and every setback becomes a headline. That is the reality of being one of the biggest names in basketball today. At the same time, veterans across the league keep competing at the highest level, bringing years of experience, toughness, and pride to every match. The real challenge for the WNBA is ensuring that fierce competition never crosses the line into unnecessary or dangerous play. Fans want intensity. They want rivalries. They want physical basketball. But they also want fairness, respect, and consistency. Larry Bird's comments have sparked passionate debate because they come from someone who understands exactly what it means to play under pressure. Throughout his legendary career, Bird faced some of the toughest defenders and most physical opponents basketball has ever seen. Yet his message was never simply about toughness. It was about protecting the integrity of the game and making sure that basketball skill, not controversy, remains the center of attention. Whether you agree with Bird's opinion or believe the situation has been exaggerated, there is no denying that his words have people talking. Fans, analysts, former players, and media personalities continue to debate what should happen when the league's most prominent stars become the focus of physical play. Should officials be stricter? Should the league issue harsher penalties? Or is the issue simply part of professional basketball? Everyone seems to have a different answer. What cannot be denied is Caitlin Clark's response. Instead of allowing criticism, physical defense, or controversy to define her career, she has continued to focus on basketball. She keeps showing up, keeps competing, and keeps proving exactly why so many people believe she represents the future of this sport. That resilience is one of the biggest reasons fans around the world continue to rally behind her. The WNBA is experiencing a level of attention it has never seen before. Television ratings are climbing, arenas are filling up, and social media conversations are growing every single day. And brand new fans are discovering women's basketball for the very first time. Moments like these don't just affect one player or one team. They shape how the entire league is viewed across the world. As the season presses forward, every game will carry even greater significance. Every matchup involving Caitlin Clark will be watched with intense focus. Every controversial play will be broken down and analyzed. Every official decision will be questioned. And every performance will help shape the narrative of one of the most talked about seasons in WNBA history. So, now the biggest question belongs entirely to you. Do you believe Larry Bird's comments accurately reflect what is truly happening inside the league? Do you think the WNBA is doing enough to protect its stars while still allowing physical and competitive basketball? And how do you think this entire situation will impact Caitlin Clark, Alyssa Thomas, and the league going forward? Drop your opinion in the comments below because I genuinely want to hear what basketball fans from every corner of the world think. Respectful debate is what makes this community so special, and your perspective could be featured in a future video. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more in-depth basketball analysis, exclusive updates, and the biggest stories surrounding the WNBA, NBA legends, and Caitlin Clark, make sure you hit that subscribe button, turn on notifications, and never miss another upload. Thank you for watching, and thank you for your incredible support. Remember, basketball history is being written every single night. The next chapter could be even bigger than this one, and when it happens, you will hear about it right here first. Share your thoughts in the comments, subscribe, and turn on all notifications so you never miss a thing. We will see you in the next one after you click the video on the screen. If you enjoyed this video, smash that like button right now because it truly helps this channel grow. Drop your thoughts in the comments below because I read every single one, and I genuinely want to hear your perspective. If you are new here, welcome to the family. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss a breakdown like this one. Share this video with any basketball fan you know because this conversation deserves to be heard. We will see you in the next one.